This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com. I just finished watching the Terry Gordy Dark Side of the Ring. It's not one of the more entertaining ones. Nothing really new. I think they had Kevin Von Erich in it, David Manning, his two kids that used to wrestle but couldn't quite make it to the level he did. Mick Foley's in it. Basically goes over that he started wrestling very young. Wrestling was his only job. Had great success with the Freebirds, but they were wild both in front of the camera and behind the camera. They had a cup of coffee in the WWE. It would have been interesting to see if they hadn't blown it in the WWE at the time they went in there, how popular they would have been. Yes, they were huge in Texas, but imagine if they had had the toys and everything. And there was a guy that helped write the Bad Street USA song that did an interview with John Paz on this channel that had said at one point WWE really wanted to run with Michael Hayes as a singer. Obviously, Michael Hayes has had a long tenure in WWE after that. Hugely long and successful, one of the longest tenures of all time. But can you imagine how big they would have been had that first WWE run lasted? They got famous. His demons got worse. They basically said that he sweated out most of his toxins every night when he wrestled. He had a few crazy moments, fights, and so forth. There's tons of fight stories of him, tons of drunken and screwed up antic stories of him out there. He always seems like a nice guy, though. I can't say I've ever heard anything bad about Terry Gordy. Never, ever. Not other than his drunken antics, and he had demons that actually he had a plane issue at one point where Dr. Death had to perform CPR on him, save his life, and he was never the same after that. They did go into his executioner WWE angle. As a fan at that time, I guess I was a teenager, maybe 13 or 14 years old. I didn't notice maybe he wasn't as good as the old Terry Gordy, but I never noticed really anything bad about it other than it was a bad gimmick. I know that his kids want to suck up to WWE probably, so they put over the gimmick and kind of thank them for using the mask, but he would have had a better chance of getting over as Terry Gordy than this cheap generic executioner gimmick where everyone that's ever been an executioner has been a jobber. I mean, they would have been better off. At one point, I remember around that time, Michael Hayes they were talking about doing a new Freebirds with the Hardys. I mean, it would have been better trying it with the Freebirds, as screwed up as he was. They mentioned that they were kind of the kids mentioned they were kind of offended at an RF video shoot that he did where he wasn't all there. But I mean, to give RF video credit, sometimes we pay wrestlers, and I've been in this situation too. For instance, with Buck Bagwell when he's been all fucked up, or Marty Jannetty. Like, if you pay them and they show up fucked up, you got to get your money's worth. But obviously, he had concussion and brain issues at that point too. He passed away when he was 40 due to a blood clot, which is sad because I'm 41 now. So he didn't even live to be my age. It seems like he was older because he was in the spotlight for so long. Pretty much all of his career he was in the spotlight for. But yeah, it was one of the slower episodes. It did a 0.05 rating, not a bad rating. I think that's the same rating as the episode I was in with Abdullah the Butcher did. Yeah, I have nothing more to say other than rest in peace. Good wrestler. Sadly, a lot of wrestlers from that era, from the golden era, where wrestlers were characters inside and outside the ring, pass away young. It's just the way it is.